说中文。
Chinese pot, Chinese pot, Chinese pot. That's the way to learn Chinese. Chinese pot, Chinese pot, Chinese pot. That's the way to learn Chinese.
Hello, you're listening to Chinese Pod. I'm Jenny.
And I'm Ken.
And Alice, we have a non-conversational lesson for you.
A non-conversational lesson.
It's called hanging up the phone.
Hanging up the phone.
You know, if you're going to hang up, what do you need to talk about?
We're teaching people not to practice speaking? No, we're not. We're not doing that. Actually, what I see this more as an example of phone etiquette.
Yes.
One part of which is how to hang up.
That's also the key word of the day.
Exactly. We're going to show you how to hang up with decorum.
Yes.
And with, in a socially
And
acceptable way.
somehow slightly awkwardly.
Yes. Yeah. Now, this is really interesting from a cultural perspective because this is a kind of a discourse thing here of how you maintain a conversation on the phone.
Yes.
And how you indicate that it's time to hang
Right.
up and stop talking
Yeah.
to whoever you
But you
may
don't
be.
want to seem too abrupt or that you're rushing out.
That's it. So this is super high frequency. This is the stuff that really doesn't get treated in most language books, actually, because it's really cultural stuff.
对, but they're so important.
It is. So let's listen to this little conversation and how they bring it to an end.
好
Okay.
对话第一遍。
那就这样，你明白了吧？
嗯
这样行吗？
好，我知道了。
那就这样吧。
好，再联系啊。
常联系，挂了啊，
好，拜拜。
再见。
第二遍。
那就这样，你明白了吧？行吗？这样行吗？
好，我知道了。
那就这样吧。
好，再联系啊。
常联系，挂了啊，
好，拜拜。
再见。
第三遍。
那就这样，你明白了吧？行吗？这样行吗？
好，我知道了。
那就这样吧。
好，再联系啊。
常联系，挂了啊，
好，拜拜。
再见。
Now, I don't know how to translate some of this.
Well, there is a lot of sound.
Yeah, a lot of sounds.
A
All right.
lot of
Now, in English, that sounds like someone's been gagged and they can't speak. But we do this in Chinese. I don't know.
对
A lot of this sound, yeah.
Yeah, in Chinese, the sound means you're listening, you're acknowledging what the other person is saying.
In technical terms, it's kind of like a discourse marker, right?
yeah.
It suggests that, I'm telling you, you can continue talking. It's your turn to talk. I am participating, but I'm listening. And all of this is kind of interesting stuff. But, well, there you go. You've just done it again.
Okay, enough analysis. Now let's translate
Okay.
dialogue. 好，知道了。
Okay. I see what you mean.
好，知道了。
All right. Okay. I get it.
好，知道了。那就这样吧。
All right. Well, then let's just leave it at that.
那就这样吧。
Okay. Let's just leave it at that.
那就这样吧。好，再联系啊。
Okay. Stay in touch.
好，再联系啊。
All right. Why don't we stay in touch?
好，再联系啊。常联系，挂啦。
Yeah. So stay in touch. I'm heading off. I'm going.
常联系，挂啦。
Yeah. Sure. Stay in touch. I gotta hang up now.
常联系，挂啦。好，拜拜。
Okay. Bye.
好，拜拜。
All right. Bye.
好，拜拜。再见，
Goodbye.
再见，
Bye.
再见。
Now, the translations are always a little bit odd with these things. So we've done rough kind of translations, but let's put them into a little bit more context. Let's start with that sort of gagged sound. What was that?
对，
We have it in English. I think it's more prevalent in Chinese. This particular sound. Let me do it in English. If somebody's talking on the phone, I go,
So,
No, yeah, that's it. We're more likely to go,
Oh, yeah, the
Yeah,
equivalent would be in Chinese.
Yeah. Now, it's interesting. If you do, very often in China, people understand that to mean, what did you say? And they repeat it. It's really interesting, right?
Yeah.
Somebody's speaking in Chinese, you go, they'll repeat what they said. So
对。
these little sounds can be interpreted in different ways. Now, let's hear the Chinese sound. What is that sound?
Well, I use it
Yeah.
a lot.
Well, it's very common.
对。
And that means I'm listening, I'm participating, the conversation may proceed kind of thing.
Yes.
Okay, now, and then this first phrase here is,
好，知道了。好，知道了。
now, 好，知道了 literally means, yes, I got it, I understand. But what does it mean from a discourse perspective? What is it indicating? What is it suggesting?
I got your message.
I got your message. Now, is it indicating that we're moving towards the end of the conversation?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're wrapping up here.
That's it. See, all conversations have structures. Don't get me started on discourse markers. I won't get into too much. But all conversations have structures, right?
Yes.
And we constantly to and fro in every language, indicating to the other person where we stand in terms of the beginning, the middle, and the end.
So there are these signals.
Yeah. So
and
here's the
symbols.
signal. And so the first signal, okay, 我知道了.
对，知道了。We can move on.
Yeah, I know what you said. I get your message. So in other words, I'm hinting that we need to bring this thing to a close now because I get the
Right.
message, obviously. Now, and but ever the
This is always like double confirmation
yes,
here.
in Chinese always this little dance, this ritual dance, but it's a great way to practice language. So what does
What does the man say?
Yeah.
那就这样吧。那就这样吧。
So because it kind of be rude to say if you just said 我知道了, okay, goodbye. It would be
对。
rude. You couldn't to be too abrupt. So he needs another phrase, another little discourse marker to indicate that he too sees that this is heading towards, it's twilight years, this conversation. And so he says,
那就这样吧。
now it's a super phrase.
Yes.
This is such a great phrase. 那就这样吧.
Means, we'll leave it at that.
It's such a powerful way to, and it is very polite. Right? To fail to do this is actually rude, I think, depending on
Yeah.
who you're talking to.
Yes.
Of course. 那就这样吧 means, okay, in that case, that's the way it is. I get it.
Yeah, I find with this kind of language and discourse markers,
Yes.
they're prevalent in phone conversations and also meetings,
Yeah.
negotiations. You want to
Exactly.
make sure
Exactly.
the other person gets.
On the phone, in the phone context, it's because you can't see the other person,
Yes.
so you don't have the gestures. In a formal meeting, it's just in order to show respect and so on. Yeah, but it's fascinating stuff. But that phrase is super. Could we hear that again?
那就这样吧。那就这样吧。
Super. You use it on the phone. There's nothing else to say. That's how you indicate it. Now we got more pleasantries here because, okay, so that's it. I know the message. You said that's it. We've done it. Now, what's the next step? Well, we have to stay in touch, right? And that phrase was?
好，再联系啊。好，再联系啊。
Yeah. Now, 联系 meaning?
To connect,
connect.
essentially, to
Yeah.
stay in touch.
Yes. Now, so instead of saying goodbye straight away, it's like, so you got this little dance.
Yes.
I know what the message is. Yeah, so that's the way it is. Yeah, why don't we stay in touch?
再联系啊。
Yeah. Do you think this might be a boy-girl thing as well? Try to prolong it. Would they be likely to do that? No.
Not really.
No, this is more formal, right?
Yes.
This is more like
Yeah, maybe
Slightly.
between business
Between business people. Yeah,
acquaintances.
Or slightly formal, not heavily formal. But
对。
slightly. Okay. So stay in touch. Yeah, stay in touch.
常联系。常联系。
Now, literally translated, this would be what?
Let's stay in touch always.
Yeah.
Do it often.
Yeah, let's extend it and do it often.
对。
Yeah. 常常 as in often.
Yes.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna hang up. I'm just gonna,
Finally, they're wrapping up.
Yeah.
挂了啊，挂了啊。
Guala. Now in English, of course, if you say I'm gonna hang up now, it would indicate something's wrong. I'm
对。
not listening anymore.
I'm hanging up.
Yeah, but that's fine here and it's common.
对。
So again, the phrase is, all right, so let me hang up then. That's it.
挂了啊。
Guala.
The verb 挂 fourth tone means to hang up.
Yes.
挂电话。
Right. Okay. So I'm just about to hang up. Now, as if this wasn't enough, they still protract it with,
他们要一个 complete finish.
yes.
好，拜拜。好，拜拜。
How? Bye bye. As in, well, you
Bye.
can figure that one out yourself.
But bye bye is interesting.
It's a really interesting phrase. Now, where did this come from? This is surely not an ancient Chinese thing here. Bye bye.
Confucius would be upset if
He
it were.
would, because how long have the Chinese been using this bye-bye thing?
I think on the mainland,
Yeah.
maybe from the early 90s,
Early
it
90s.
became sort of quite widespread and
Yeah.
common for people.
You wouldn't have heard it here in the 70s, let's put it that way. That's for sure. It wouldn't. So, yeah. Now, is bye-bye, is it seen as an import, or do people think of it as an import, or how is it seen as a word?
Especially older people,
Yeah.
of course, still see it as an import.
Yes.
But it's being so deeply infused
Yes.
with our own language
Yeah.
lexicon and
Yeah.
so commonly used that people sort of adopt it and use it very freely.
Even old folks use it now.
对
It's awesome. It's just really now. It sounds a little bit odd to us as well. Bye bye. It sounds almost childish, but it actually has. It really sits very well with Chinese sort of repetition
yeah.
of a single syllable and stuff like that. So it sits really well.
对
But there's an interesting question about the tones here as well.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, we found a Chinese character that sounds like the sound for bye.
Yes.
But if you look up in the dictionary, it says it's the fourth tone.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yes.
Bye, bye.
Bye bye.
However, no one says bye bye. We say bye bye. Or sometimes maybe the first tone, bye bye.
Yeah. It changes a little bit, but bye bye would be like get out or something. It would sound very strong.
Well, it means to worship. Bye
To worship,
bye.
yeah. Like bye fang, right? Yeah.
Or by, religious symbols.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay. So that's just the character. The pronunciation is not fourth tone anyway. And then you have just the traditional normal.
再见.
再见. Now, what a little dance was there. Nothing was said.
对.
Not in any substantial way,
Yet everything was said.
but everything was said. So on another sort of discourse level, a lot was said. So this was the dance between, it's not very formal, because that would be even worse. This is relatively informal. And this is it. But just believe me, trust me, listen to this over and over and over again. Get these phrases down. And if you're talking, particularly on the phone, by using this, it shows involvement, connectedness. It shows that you're aware of the cultural aspects of this. And you'll get a great response.
对
People won't necessarily consciously understand that, but
对
you'll connect, as it were. No pun
是的
intended about it. Okay, let's listen to that 3 more times.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Chinese Pod Trivia. Our first question is, how long will it take you to become an intermediate Chinese speaker using the Chinese Pod app? Is it A, the rest of your life? B, you should already be an intermediate speaker? C, 3 months? Or D, Chinese Pod has an app?
You should already be in.
Ooh, that is incorrect. The correct answer is C, 3 months. That's right. Head over to ChinesePod.com now to register for your access to over 4,000 lessons. Get the Chinese Pod app now on Google Play or the App Store.
对话第一遍。
那就这样，你明白了吧？
嗯
这样行吗？
好，我知道了。
那就这样吧。
好，再联系啊。
常联系。挂了啊，
好，拜拜。
再见。
第二遍。
那就这样，你明白了吧？行吗？这
嗯
样行吗？
好，我知道了。
那就这样吧。
好，再联系啊。
常联系。挂了啊，
好，拜拜。
再见。
第三遍。
那就这样，你明白了吧？行吗？这
嗯
样行吗？
好，我知道了。
那就这样吧。
好，再联系啊。
常联系。挂了啊，
好，拜拜。
再见。
If you
Yeah.
talk to a Chinese,
Yeah.
especially not very familiar friends, Do you use those things, those discourse markers?
Yeah, absolutely. They, there's, learning these phrases and these sort of bridges and discourse markers. Not only do they, do you sound more connected, but it gives you, it helps to give your conversation some structure.
Yes.
And it helps you move along. And sometimes you need to think because you don't always have access to the same level of fluency that you have in your native language. And these things can really help move things along. But
those are connectors.
Absolutely,
in a way.
absolutely. But definitely at the level of culture, it brings you closer to people. There's just because these are like rituals, right? Rituals, shared rituals that we all have. And the more familiar you are with them, the more you use them. Even though you don't have to be saying a hell of a lot on a substantial level, but these things bring people together. Yeah.
Well said.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, speaking of which, perhaps we've said enough for one day.
对
Yeah. So we could be saying bye bye and
拜拜。
就这样 and 知道了 and 就这样吧
再联系啊
Yeah, 再联系 and well, you can find us tomorrow. Definitely,
对
we'll be back as ever. But right now, we have to say all of this stuff and
再见。
再见.
As usual, ChinesePod provides an extensive selection of learning materials for this lesson on its website, www.chinesepod.com. You can access this lesson directly with the lesson number
1080.
So just go to www.chinesepod.com/1080 and you will find a transcript, vocabulary, and much more. The link again, www.chinesepod.com/1080.